Hey guys, my plant-powered friends out there, I'm back with another recipe for you today. These are a Dreena original cookie and they are called Pecan Date Nibblers.
Yummy.
And when I made these cookies, I wanted to do two things. I wanted to give you an option to have a cookie that had no oil in it and also very little sweetener. These are mostly sweetened with dates. So we're using pecans, and pecans are a really buttery sweet nut. Nuts have different textures and sweetness and properties, and some of them are a little harder and more bitter, and nuts are pecans, I should say, are one of the ones that are really buttery and sweet, and so they're just perfect for this recipe where we're not adding extra oil. Okay, so what we do is we put the pecans in a food processor and get them pulsed until they're crumbly. And then we're going to add dates. This is a cup of pitted dates. That's okay, hon. Pitted dates, and buy them pitted. You don't want to spend the time pitting dates. It's not so much fun. Occasionally, though, when you buy pitted dates, you will get one in there that has a pit, but you will hear it. If the food processor is whirring and you will hear something knocking around in there, you're going to have to stop and fish out that little bit of a pit, but usually they're good. So we're going to work that in. Okay, and now we're going to add a tablespoon of nut butter. Now here you could add, I give people the option. When I was making these, I thought, okay, first I'll make them with a tablespoon of coconut oil, and then I thought, okay, what if people don't really want to use oil? Well, they can use a nut butter instead. So this is why I give you the option. My mind works overtime. Yep. And even though these are not a nut-free cookie, you might not be able to eat, say, cashew butter or almond butter and all of those handy butters that you buy pre-made. So maybe you can have pecans, but you can't have cashew butter. So that's where I give you the option to use coconut oil or cashew butter or almond butter, whatever you like. This is a raw cashew butter. It's by Artisana, and I love this. It's, if you can see, it's, you don't need to tilt it up. It's okay. A much lighter color nut butter. The cashew butter that you typically buy is a darker, like a caramel color. This is really light and creamy because it's the raw cashew, and it's delicious. So we're adding that, and we've got to add in some vanilla, a teaspoon of vanilla. This is a handy measuring spoon I got the other day that has the measures on both sides, so you can use it more than once in baking, which is great. And some maple syrup. So there's pecans, or sorry, dates in here to make it sweet, and then just a little bit of maple syrup.
Which is awesome.
Just a little eggs. Yeah, we love maple syrup, don't we?
Yep.
So that's 3 tablespoons. And that's pure maple syrup, not the, you know, Aunt Jemima stuff. The real deal. And we're going to add...
I don't think that company would like that.
I'm sorry, it's not a very good food.
Ouch.
Ouch, I know, but it's true. It's full of chemicals and colors and not good stuff. Then we're going to add a little bit of orange zest. Now, I love adding citrus zest to savory and sweet recipes. And it just adds that, like, sort of, no, yeah, and this is like floral, extra, like, it's just fresh and vibrant and zesty, and you just need a little bit. And we're using a kitchen rasp, and these are pretty common tools that you can get at just about any sort of home store nowadays.
Walmart.
Walmart, yes. And just, you need a little bit on the kitchen rasp into the food processor, and we're going to give that a whir around. And that's just about coming together. Now we need a little bit of some, you know, flour in there to bind it. This is actually really good to eat like this. Sort of like a raw cookie dough to eat straight up. But we're going to bake them. So we're adding a cup and a tablespoon of spelt flour. And a lot of my readers ask me about substituting oat flour for spelt flour, that kind of thing. This is a recipe where you could substitute oat flour. I wouldn't say always that you can substitute oat for spelt, because if there's a lot of spelt in the recipe, then using the equal amount of oat flour, you're just going to get a different texture. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not the best, but here there's not too much, and the substitution is just fine. And we're going to add a little bit of baking powder. It's a teaspoon.
Powder.
A wee bit of salt. Now it's like a scant 1/4 teaspoon. You don't want too much, just enough to balance out those flavors. And pulse that in. Oh, and cinnamon. I forgot my cinnamon.
Uh-oh.
You need cinnamon in there.
Uh-oh.
It's a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, which, again, cinnamon is one of those, you know, oh my gosh, cookies
yummy
are amazing.
things.
Yeah, with cinnamon. And that 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon with the orange zest and the vanilla and the buttery pecans, it's delicious. And that's it. That's your cookie batter. I'll move it, Char. That's okay. Whoop. It's okay. That's your cookie batter. It's come together. It's sticky. You could eat it just like this if you want. But we're going to pop them on a baking sheet. Now, before I do put them on the baking sheet, you ready there?
Yeah.
There's things you can add in here. I mean, this is where the basic recipes come together, and now you can have some fun with it if you want. So if you want to add in a little bit of cranberries, you can do that.
Cranberries.
If you want to add in some
Chocolate chips.
chocolate chips, you could do that. You could even add in some more whole seeds or nuts, like some sunflower
olives.
seeds, or did you say olive?
I like olives.
Okay, we'll have to work on that one. You can add in some coconut, or if you want to make them sort of like more of an oaty kind of cookie, if you've used the oat flour, you can add in some rolled oats. You know, the texture is there just a little bit, like a few tablespoons of each, so that you're not overwhelming the cookie and changing the base mixture too much. Okay, we're back and we are scooping our cookie batter onto the sheet. I have done most of the cookies just as is, and then for my few wee ones who want some chocolate chips in there,
Yeah.
I did add a few chocolate chips to the very end of the batter. Hello! Oh, I have a little girl who needs to do. These are what you call real life
Technical
videos.
difficulties.
No, this is real life.
Do you want me to go?
So,
No,
yeah,
I can
can you
go.
bring her to the potty
Okay.
real quick?
Let's go.
And this mixture is very sticky, so once you may need to, I'm using a small cookie scoop here, and it's very handy, but you can also form these with your hands. So if you are forming them with your hands, you're probably going to need to give your hands a rinse once or twice in between and get all the sticky off. And then we're going to get them in the oven at 350 for about 10 to 11 minutes. And these are pretty small, so they're not going to need much time. If you make them bigger, you can, it's okay, bake them longer. So I'm just going to get them going, and I'll be back to show you the final cookie.
Good.
Now I'm going to show you my total cheat trick for cookie racks. Yes, well, it's just like a very quick step in taking cookies off the tray because I'm always rushing. And
That's true.
this is a very cheat way of doing the cookies. But I tell you, they will still cool fine doing it this way. So it may go against all the baking rules, but it works. I take my baking sheet and I slide it under the parchment. Ta-da!
I'm guessing you were going to do that.
And all of the cookies are on your cooking sheet, and you didn't have to take out a spatula. Number one, you didn't have to dirty a spatula. Number two, you didn't have to take them out one by one.
Oh, God, Mom.
That's how I save time all day. So there's our cookies, and I've got a tea poured, and I'm going to try a cookie.
Can I try a cookie? I want to try a cookie.
They're really hot.
I want a cookie.
I think your mouth is too young.
Too young? I'm not too young.
They're so hot.
I'm 11 years old.
Excellent. Okay, guys. Thank you. And I'll be back soon with
Yes, you
more
will.
great recipes. Bye-bye.